Welcome back to Ultra Uncovered. I'm Russell Ditzworth, and I'm here with co-host Corinne Shalvoy. Today, we are joined in a preview episode for the Leadville Trail 100 by Maddie Wighardt, the third place finisher from last year's race, Leadville Trail 100 2023. So, Maddie, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more here. Can you just give us just a brief introduction, your history with running, and what brings you back to Leadville in 2024?
Yeah, sure. So I've been running basically my whole life since I was a little kid. And I kind of got into ultra running just, I think, 3 years ago. My first ultra was the JFK 50 mile down in Maryland. And after I did that one, I was just hooked on it. And I realized that I never wanted to run short distance things again because I wasn't very good at them and they're not nearly as fun as the long stuff. So I kind of just got into it from there, mostly from watching YouTube videos. I just got really obsessed with ultras and really wanted to try them. And last year, Leadville 100 was my first 100 miler. Again, I got obsessed with it from watching all the YouTube documentaries on it. And something about it, I was just like, I have to run this race. I don't know what about it was so intriguing, but I was like, I have to do it. So I did that last year. It was my first 100 miler at Leadville, and it was like the most awesome day of my entire life. I had so much fun, and it was amazing. And yeah, and then this year I did Western States. I think it's 6 weeks ago now, and Leadville in a week. So that's basically it.
Yeah, that's quite the double. I mean, people talk about it being a stretch to do like the Western UTMB double, and this is like really close, way closer, a couple weeks closer than those two. So yeah, you had an amazing debut 100, like we said, finishing third last year. And just a little interesting background, Maddie and I don't know each other, but I had been chatting with her coach at the time, Addie Bracey, and she said, I'm looking for some pacers. And because I think I might just pace Maddie. And I didn't know you. And I'm like, but we have a lot of run club people out there. So we actually put out the word to our little, or the bat signal to our little group. And there were two guys, Matt and Christian, who said, hey, I'm up for pacing. I don't know who this is, but I'm down for it. So then they ended up connecting with you and pacing you. And I don't know if they knew that they were in for pacing a podium finisher at Leadville, but I heard it was a really cool experience. And especially I heard from Christian, like that you guys were hunting people down, that you were. So tell us a little bit about what was it like to run with pacers that you didn't know? And then just like, did they help you really in achieving your end result?
Yeah, no, they were both so awesome. I had never met them before. I had no idea who they were. They just showed up at Outward Bound in like the middle of the night, and I'm like a mess. I'm so tired, and they're just like, "Hey, Maddie, how's it going? Nice to meet you." And you know, when you meet people in the ultra community, you just kind of instantly become friends with them. That's just how it is. Everyone is always super friendly and nice. And then I just started running with them. Matt paced me from Outward Bound to May Queen. And he was just awesome, like super steady, reminding me to eat, dragging me up that brutal power line climb when I was just not in the mood to do it anymore. And then when I picked up Christian at May Queen, we just started going like fast, and he was pushing the pace and I was dying. But I am insanely grateful for their pacing abilities, because there's no way I would have moved up to third place in those last 12 miles without Christian's help, because he was just making me run way faster than I wanted to. But you know, hindsight, it was awesome. And yeah, they were so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no way I would have been on the podium without them.
Oh man, that's so cool. And I think I was telling them, like, guys, this is going to be like a memory for life. Like, you can say that you paced a female to third place at Leadville. That's like a really cool thing. And they're both just very positive, like also competitive, but very positive people. So I'm really glad that worked out for you. So, so where are you from, Maddie? Where are you from, and where do you live now?
I was born and raised in Hamilton, Ontario. That's still where I live. I go to school there, in Canada. But this summer I was actually in Calgary and Canmore for a few months to train for Western States.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there up until I came to Leadville just a week ago. But most of the
Okay.
time I live in flat Ontario.
Got it.
So talk a little bit about how your recovery has gone since Western States and what your training has looked like in between leading into this. Like, I'll call it a double, the Western Leadville double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the recovery was pretty tough. I kind of felt like garbage for about 4 weeks after Western States. Like I was just, first off, Western States mangled my feet up. They were a disaster, so I couldn't really walk for like a week on them. And then I was just so tired because like I had kind of a rough day at Western States. I kind of felt bad basically the whole race. So getting to the finish line took every bit of energy that I had, and I was just completely wiped out after it, which is like, obviously that's how it should be. That's like what I expected, but I would say my Leadville training hasn't really even been training. It's mostly been like recover from Western States. I think I had maybe 2 good long runs that were 3 weeks out from Leadville, and then basically back into tapering and recovering. So the focus has mostly been trying to feel good again after Western States, because the fitness from it kind of just carries over. And it's like Western and Leadville, they're both runnable courses with not insane amounts of climbing, not insanely technical. So the training for Western carries over pretty well to the training for Leadville.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mostly just been trying to recover from the first one to maybe feel good at Leadville next week.
Yeah. How are your feet doing? Are they? I can commiserate. I have had foot issues in the past, and it's not fun. So are they feeling better?
They're better now.
Good.
I have 7 toenails, which isn't bad, but
70%.
I think
70%,
that's actually
which is
not bad.
No, for how bad my feet felt during the race, it's pretty good. So
Did you lose your big ones? Because
I lost my big one, yeah. Because at Western States I kept stubbing my toes on rocks, and it just it was a mess. But
yeah,
they're okay
I hadn't
now.
lost a big toenail until last year, Run Rabbit, and it was a different experience to lose the big toenail versus the other.
It's an uncomfortable
I was like,
one.
I don't need these other ones.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm just hoping that my feet are healed enough and they won't give me too much trouble at Leadville.
Yeah.
I was looking back and reading some of your recap of last year's race, and you had mentioned something about basically going liquid calories for the end of the race, like full yin. I'm just curious if your approach is going to be different, or if there's something that you've learned since then that you're better at tolerating, or what is that going to look like for you coming up?
My plan is basically to just have liquids and gels as my main fuel source, just because it's easy and I know it'll work. And then when I run by aid stations, if something looks tasty, I grab it and I eat it. But I kind of just for hundreds, it's kind of just gels and liquids work best for me, I think. And then I'll usually grab some watermelon, some pretzels, some chips, cookies, a lot of Coke. Basically whatever looks good.
I'm the same way with Coca-Cola, for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of just thought process. So how many hundreds have you done at this point now? Just the 2?
2.
Okay. And you're pretty young, aren't you? How old are you?
Yeah, 23.
Okay, were you the youngest runner at Western this year?
I was, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you think about racing? What are you thinking? Do you work with a coach? How are you thinking about kind of your ultra running career as a whole, starting it pretty early? I mean, right. Just for example, Ryan Montgomery's in the race. I know him pretty well now. He started racing when he was 21. And so he's a veteran at 30 now. Right. But, what is your thought process on kind of your long-term approach to building a career?
Yeah, it worked really well last year to kind of just approach racing as this is fun, as opposed to, because every time I found that I go into a race thinking, oh, I want to compete for this place, I want to get this time, and I'm too rigid about that, I just stop having fun. And then if I'm going slightly slower than that, I just freak out and I get upset and I think the whole day is ruined. So I have to stop doing that. And I found that if I just approach it with like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna run and see what happens. And if I go fast, that's great. If everything explodes in my face, I try to finish. If I feel good, maybe I try to fight to place somewhere decent. I think especially with the double that I'm doing, I have no idea how I'm gonna feel. Like I feel pretty good now. I feel recovered, but I don't know if like 100K and I'm still gonna feel good. Maybe there's still some fatigue going in there. So I kind of just like to approach racing like it's fun, and I found that works best for me, as opposed to like being super rigid about my paces or trying to compete with people too early on. I get in my head too much. So
Yeah.
Knowing the course from last year, is there a certain section that you're most looking forward to? Tell us about like what on the day, what you're most looking forward to.
Strangely, I'm kind of looking forward to Hope Pass. The front side, not the back side. The front side is nice.
Nobody likes
That
the
part-
backside.
The backside is
nobody likes-
mean. It's
The backside
mean.
is terrible. It sucks. But the front side was kind of fun last year. I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I like the llamas at the top, and it's beautiful up there. I'm also looking forward to Twin Lakes, going in both ways, just because that's such an awesome aid station. The energy there is so high. Like you just leave there feeling like rejuvenated, and yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it. Looking forward to picking up my pacers. That's always fun. I'm looking forward to the sponsor that sent me to Western States, Stoked Oats. The CEO of that, he's pacing me the last 25 miles of Leadville, because Stoked Oats is also sponsoring Leadville.
Cool.
So I'm really looking forward to running those last 25 miles with him. I think that'll be really fun.
Is he going to require you to eat some Stoked Oats during that section in order to
Not
uphold your
during.
obligation?
I just have to eat them before, which I do.
Don't put that idea into the universe. She can just hold the Stoked Oats.
Yeah, right. No, I love it. That's great. Well, I think that's a super mature, attitude for you to think about kind of racing on joy and the happiness. I do feel like that's a huge like performance enhancer for you to just be like enjoying yourself. And often that will help bring out the best performances. I know, it kind of has for me as well. It's really easy to get caught up in the competitive aspects, and hundreds are just so unique. But what I know you want to just go for it, see how you feel, and also very courageous of you to just toe the line and kind of see how the day plays out. If you hit, if you had the day you wanted, what would that look like for you at Leadville?
If I can go faster than last year, I'll be happy.
And what was your time last year?
23:32.
Okay.
So, going under 23, that would be great. I think if I have a good day, I think I'm fitter than last year. So it's like possible. And there are certainly sections where I probably could go faster. I try to stay away from setting goals of like, oh, I want to be on the podium again, because I have no idea who's going to be there. There's not even a start list I can look at. There could be like the most insane stacked field and I finish in like 20th place. Who knows? I don't know.
Right.
But, if I feel good in the last 38 miles, I'll try to, pass some people, finish in a decent place, whatever that may be. But if I go faster than last year, I'll know that I'm doing something right and that I've learned something and I've gotten a little bit better. So that would be great. And then if I feel bad, then maybe sub 25. And if it's an absolute disaster, crossing the finish line.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Maddie, since Matt and Christian paced you, I like to think of you as an honorary member of the Castle Rock Run Club. So we will all be rooting for you in a massive way.
You.
We'll be at Twin Lakes. We'll be at Outward Bound. So we're going to be cheering for you a lot as you come through both directions. And can't wait to see you out there and see what you do. Corinne, did you have any other questions for Maddie?
Okay, my last question is, what do you think is harder, Leadville or Western?
Yeah, other people have asked me that, and it's hard to tell because I had a really good day at Leadville last year and a bad day at Western. but I think Western is harder.
Why?
I think if you're acclimated to altitude, then Western is definitely harder. Just because of the heat and the downhilling beats up your legs. And also because it's just so insanely competitive. I think Western destroyed me a little bit more.
I mean, you're
than
not the first
Leadville did.
person. There's been so many people that have said that Western will destroy them for the rest of the year. And, Claire Gallagher famously, like, I'm not doing it anymore because when I do it, I can't race anymore and I want to race for the rest of the year, So I think that that's a shared sentiment. Okay. And then last question is, how about the feet issues? Are you changing your shoes? What are you going to wear? Or like, what's your plan to kind of take care of the feet?
Yeah. My plan is, I have a different pair of Salomon shoes that I'm going to start in that I like and should be fine. And then my biggest thing is after the river crossing coming inbound at Twin Lakes, I'm going to change my shoes because I didn't do that at Western States until mile 55, which was stupid. And it like shredded my feet up. So I'm going to change my shoes when they're wet so that I don't shred my feet to bits into a pair of bigger shoes.
Oh, bigger
That's what I'm
size
gonna do.
shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully
also
that'll work.
Solomon's or different brand?
Yep, Solomon's, yeah.
Which Solomon? I'm a Solomon girl. So which Solomons do you like?
I'm starting in I always get this wrong. What are they? S-Lab Pulsar?
Ultra 3s? Oh, the Pulsars.
They're the blue ones with the sock liner. I always forget the name. Genesis or Pulsar. I can't remember. I think it's
probably
Pulsar.
the Pulsar 3s. Yep.
And then I will change into the Ultra Glides. Because those are just a trusty, comfortable shoe. I've raced in the Ultra Glides. I wore them at Leadville last year and at Western States this year. But I have them in half a size up, so hopefully they feel a little bit better.
Perfect.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work.
Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, yeah, like Russ said, we're cheering for you. Hope you have an awesome day out there. We will be giving you good vibes the whole time and excited for you to take on this big double.
Yeah, thanks so much.